Hello, back for another one. So this is going to be in response to one of my school members reaching out and asking me a few questions generally about estimating. And I just wanted to go over a few, well, the questions that he asked. I'm not going to mention the tag or username for the guy. You can just come over to the school and check it out. It is linked in the description below, so it's not like something that you have to like find or figure out or anything like that. You can just come join. For right now, it's still free, but eventually in the future, it will be paid. And I also have my estimating course there, and some of these are going to be estimating related. So just wanted to plug that in there. So uh, he mentioned that he had just graduated, and I congratulated him because he is where I was after high school, trying to figure out, or it might have been college for him, but just trying to figure out where I wanted to go in life, what I wanted to do, how am I going to make money and do this life thing? Who knows? I chose the military, but I mean, I pretty much went into estimating project management then, so generally the same for him, and he has plenty of time to do it. So, you know, let's go off to that guy. You know, it's a lot of people doing wild stuff, so he's actually focused on getting somewhere in life and kind of going somewhere, doing something with his skills. So the very first question that he asked was why I got into estimating. So I wasn't sure what I was going to be doing in the Air Force. Like at first they had me down as like a meteorologist, and of course I don't know anything about the weather. So I was just planning on going with that for a while, but they switched me over to my AFSC, which is the job that you get in the Air Force. I think I was going to try and list out what the number associated with it was, but I completely forgot at this point. But it was choosing to go into the military, and then after the military, realizing that I wanted to make decent money and not have to put myself into such duress almost as I was in the military, doing all of that stuff that we used to have to do. And this seemed like one of the better sorts of jobs from the information that I could find, which is partly why I'm doing this in the first place, is to get that information out there because I had to. I mean, think about it. I've been in estimating for 10 years, and a lot of that time was spent at a desk. So a lot of that time was spent looking up either like salary progression or how to get a higher into your field, more information on estimating. A lot of it, like I said, was from Reddit. Um, and like it was like one or two videos on estimating, and they weren't really even that informative. And a lot of them don't even mention salary. So I went from 42,500 whenever I first started out, and I've made my way over these past right around 6 years. Like after this is after the Air Force. I may have gotten up to like 50, 55, let's just say, just because of like the free healthcare component. But I started at 50, 42.5 in the estimating career field. There's no reason why you couldn't start at maybe 50. And then I've worked my way up to right now being at $114,000 a year, giving you that value, that sauce, so you don't have to go look for it. But yeah, and I could kind of see that for myself, like early on after doing a lot of that research. So that's generally why I have a wife and a kid, so I wanted to be able to be home. And so that's why I got away from project management. I was a senior project manager, but they had me traveling all over the United States, and I was like, I'm okay with that. I want to be home at the end of the day. And one last thing, one of my worst managers in the Air Force, one of my sergeants, told me that I pretty much wouldn't be able to be home and be able to take care of my family monetarily wise. Like a lot of the guys that he knew were out there traveling and maybe doing carpentry or welding or other stuff to where you have to be off and out and out of an office and maybe even out of the state. I chose something different. So yeah. And the last thing he asked was, so it's like a corporate job without politics, because I guess he thought that because it's more construction leaning, maybe he thinks construction is conservative, that the politics wouldn't be in the office or something like that. But our politics are way too uh, volatile to not make it into general conversation. Sometimes I've heard and seen and talked about it at many of the places that I've been at, so that's not the case at all. It's like corporate, and corporate's like corporate. It's gonna be, if you like, don't like, it's gonna generally be an office job. Everything that you've ever heard about corporate water cooler talk and taking a smoke break or whatever, I don't know, whatever you've heard about corporate, is this is what this is for the most part. And it's according to what company you were with and if they're larger or smaller as to how much they adhere to that norm. But generally, this is what you're going to find, because it's a more decent job. This is an office job. You're going to be at somebody's headquarters probably somewhere or something like that. So, but yeah, just a quick discussion on one of the conversations that I was having over the past 2 days with one of my school members. You can join that community like I was talking about before using the description below. I also have my website listed there where I have digital products related to estimating, such as my ebook, as well as my number for consulting, where we can do a one-on-one to get you up to be able to apply to somebody's job somewhere as an estimator.